if we are doing it, we usually call a word multitasking. We usually say I'm good at multitasking. That means I can do two things at one time. We will do so much multitasking in everyday life, right? As you are doing multitasking every day, when I teach the class, most of the students they practice at the same time. That's multitasking. You are doing two things at the same time. Okay. So we are saying concurrently because we are doing it at the same time. So just tell me, I have a question. It's been 2 months, almost 2 months. I'm teaching with you. Have we wrote so many programs. So all the single threaded programs are multi-threaded. All those programs which we wrote. Any answers? Okay. Some people have doubt whether it is singular or multi-threaded programs. Okay, I can give you one clue. So I have one question. Have you created thread? Yes or no? Just a minute. Okay. Sorry for the break. So what's the answer for my question? Have you created thread, yes or no? Somebody said yes. I want to ask that person. Binod, you said yes. So you created thread in any one of the programs? Can you tell me how you created the thread?
I mean, there is already a main thread in a program.
Yeah, main thread runs by the operating system, but we haven't created any extra thread, right? That is the default one.
Oh yes, no, we have not.
That is the main is the single one. So if you have main thread alone, that doesn't mean your program is multi-threaded, right?
No.
If you have more than one thread, then it becomes a multi-threaded program. So the answer is no. We haven't created any multi-threaded program. So when it comes to us, we always say we will do multitasking and we'll do so many things at the same time concurrently. And when it comes to the programs, we say our program is multi-threaded when we are able to do the multiple things at the same time concurrently. Okay. So what is the need of this multi-threading? Do you think the multi-threaded programs are important? Yes, because we can't simply focus on one thing, right? We want to do the fast execution and we want to do so many stuffs at the same time. Okay. If you consider your laptop and you can do so many things at the same time. You can play music and at the same time you can do other work also. It adds great flexibility and it will save your time. It also makes use of your resources perfectly. Okay. Gives more flexibility, saves time, etc. Okay, so how many of you have some idea on this multi-threading concept? What is a thread? What is the life cycle of the thread? How many ways we can create a thread? And what are the interfaces and classes available in the API? So anyone has any idea on all this? Okay, no problem. If you don't have idea, not a problem. If you have idea, that's good. Okay, so Tiro, so now we are going to learn about all these things and we will do little practically. Okay, so remember, again, you have a test on this on Monday. It's for you. Understand this. This is very important concept. Okay, so what is the definition of a thread? When I say thread, you have to think it is like a thread of execution. What is a method? Tell me. We all know what is a method. What is the use of method? It is a block of code and it performs some task for us, right? So in the same way, thread also performs something for you. Right. Okay, say for example, I want to play the music and I want to create one document. I want to write some points in the one document at the same time. So how it is happening at the back end? So when it comes to the thread, who handles all these threads? Any idea? Who takes care of these threads? See, Bino said we have main thread in each and every program. But who is taking care of the main thread? Who is starting it? JVM, right? So you can say operating system, no problem. JVM is also part of the operating system. So threads are handled by we have thread scheduler. Thread scheduler takes responsibility of starting and executing the threads. We have so many things in the threads, like thread priorities, thread scheduler, thread method, etc. Okay, let me just show you with an example. Just a normal program. Let me just open the Eclipse. I will write a simple program first, then I'll show you how to write it with the thread. So don't think of Tomcat. So let's write the standalone programs first. I want to write the programs without involving servlets and JSP. We will write later. First, we'll write the standalone program. We'll try to understand the concept at the core Java point of view. So can you see my screen? Okay, let me write a program. Let me quickly create a program. File, new project. Okay, multi-threading example. Finish. So my program is created here. Let me write a simple class. Let me give a package. Let me give the class name. So let me give the class name as first thread. Okay. Sorry, first program, something like that. Because in this program, I don't want to create any thread. Okay. Let me just click on finish. And just a minute. Okay. So sorry for the disturbance multiple times. Okay, so we just wrote a program, and this is a single threaded program. So how many threads we have here? To be frank, we don't know, right? Because we are used to write the programs, but we are not 100% sure with the threads. We haven't written any thread so far, correct? Okay, I think my system is stuck. And just wait for a minute. So I have a simple standalone program, and I have the main method here. So how many threads I have here? If anybody are able to answer, they can answer me. Any idea how many threads we have here, and who will take care of the threads? Okay. So main is we know main is the main thread, and who starts the main thread? Who start the threads? JVM will take care of it, right? So let me just write something here. See, when I simply type thread, I get so many things here. See, I just want to see the current thread details. So I just get thread dot current thread dot. I have so many methods. So I just want to see the name. Check access, destroy. These are all the methods get name. Okay. So I want to print this in the system. See, I have a thread already. This is the main thread. This is run by the JVM. So I'm just using, I just want to see the current thread name, and I'm printing it on the console. Let me just run it. See, can you see the name? What's the name of the current thread? Main. And how many total threads I have here? I have only one thread. That is the main thread. Now, can I change this name? Can I change the name of this thread? I can. It's not like I can't change. I can name my thread. It's my wish. So you just tell me, give one name to this main thread. Instead of main, I want to name this thread to something else. You just give me one name. What is that rope? Give some meaningful, nice name. So nobody has any name? First thread? Okay, fine. Somebody said first thread, so let me just use it. First thread. So what's my main thread's name now? First thread. Let me print that one. Let me print the same thing here. Here I should get the different name. Let me just run it. See, first it was main, later it is renamed to first thread. You can actually set your thread name. Okay. So this is about the normal program. This is about without multi-threading when you have a single thread. Remember, when you have single thread in your program, so do you consider this program as a multi-threaded program? No, because you just have a single thread and it's just running. You can't say it is a multi-threading program. Your program is doing one thing at one time. It is just doing one thing at one time and it's not doing multiple tasks concurrently. So shall I write a program to create a thread? But before that, let's see the hierarchy. So before that, we have to understand few things. We have to be comfortable with the hierarchy. So you can see my screen, right? Okay, can you see this one? See, we have a class, we have a thread class in the Oracle DAX, which extends object. Each and every class in Java, it will extend object by default. We don't need to remember it. We know that already. Object is a superclass of all the classes by default. And it implements runnable interface. It is again one more important thing in this thread concept. So you have to understand. First one is thread class. Second one is runnable interface. These two things you have to understand because when you want to create a thread, you have to use these two things. Okay, let's see the thread class first. So this is the thread class and it implements runnable. Runnable is an interface. So as I told you already, thread is a thread of execution. A thread is used by the JVM to perform some task. And you can have multiple threads for a Java web application and it's your thread scheduler and operating system. They take care of running the threads and giving them priorities. Okay. So let me show you the runnable interface. See, runnable interface is present in java.lang package and sub interfaces are these, and it is also, we can also use lambda expression with that. That will be discussed in Java 8. Okay. And how many methods we have inside the runnable interface? You can see here. We just have a single method and that is run. This run method we make use when we are creating the thread. Okay. Let me check in the thread. Okay, this is about the constructors. This is about the priorities, and this is about the constructors, and these are about the methods. Okay, here also we have a run method. If you are interested, see here also we have run method. In interface we have only one, but in this class we have so many. Okay, so if you are interested, you just go through it once. So what is common in both? We have run method in both. We have run method here and we have run method in runnable interface also. Okay, but why I need this class and why I need this interface? Okay, but thread is a class, right? See, can you see this one? It is a class. And if you see runnable, it is an interface. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, so my question, you need this class and this interface when you want to create a thread. Here we have a program. We haven't created any thread. Okay, but for example, if I want to make this program, make this class as thread, I want to either extend thread class, I want to either extend the runnable interface. Getting? So if you want to create a thread, let me write it here. Let me write some important points. If you want to create a thread, either you have to extend the thread class or implement the runnable interface. Okay, so how many ways you can create a thread? The answer is above. You can create a thread in two ways. First one is by extending the thread class. Second one is by extending the runnable interface. So which one is preferred? You know core Java already. I asked you to create a thread. You can do it in two ways. So you will extend the thread or implement runnable interface. I mean, you will do that by creating a class only. That's another story that we know already. So which one you prefer among these two things? Somebody said extend thread, and what do you mean by one? One and two. Extend, you mean extend thread is one? Yeah, we can't create instance, but we can implement it, right? That's why I'm saying implement. I'm not saying extend. Okay? When you implement it, you can actually override its methods. We have two ways, and which one is preferred? No, it's not like that. Okay, you have to understand the logic behind it. We just need to use a run method inside it to create the thread. Okay, the answer is second one is preferred. I will tell you why. The second one is preferred and this is not preferred. The first one is not preferred because you know a multiple inheritance is supported in Java or not. For example, let me say right like this: public class, my thread class, or please say my thread class extends thread. So this is when I want to create a thread by extending the thread class. This is the first one, correct? This is the first one. If I do this one, can I extend one more class? My flexibility is gone. I cannot extend my another class because I am already extending one. So that is a limitation or not? What if I do the same thing by implementing the runnable interface? Public class, my thread class implements runnable. So here I can extend another class too. Here I can extend another class. I can implement another interfaces also by giving comma. Okay, so implementing runnable is always preferred compared to the first one. This has the limitation. Okay, somebody has some doubt, but you can have another class that implements runnable and first class extend the thread class. I don't understand your doubt. You can have another class that implements runnable first class and extends thread class. Of course, you can have that because your third class is implementing, it can implement and extend both. Even your this class can implement the runnable interface, extend the thread at the same time. But logically, it is of no use. Why you want to extend a thread? Tell me. In which situation? Why are you doing all this? Why you want to extend the thread? Why I wrote this code? What is the reason behind it? Yeah, because I want to create a thread. I wrote this one because I want to create a thread. So this gives me the code for creating the thread. Then why I need to write this implementing runnable? Or when I write this implementing runnable already, this gives me the flexibility to create the thread. Then why I go for extending the thread again? I will do any one of them. You either extend the thread or you either implement the runnable interface. Anything is fine. Why you want to do both? It's meaningless, right? You got my point?
Yes.
Are you clear now? Are you clear so far? I have two options. I will select any one of them. There is no need for me to take the two options. It's meaningless because my whatever I want to do, my criteria is it is met by any one of them. So I don't need to take both of them. Okay. Okay. And now you have to think carefully. This is just a normal program. In this, I have only single thread. It is a main thread. I want to write one more program where I can create a thread. Okay. So let me just create another package. This is kind of confusing topic, so you have to be little careful. But it is easy. Multithreading. Okay. Now I just want to create a class. Let me create a class. Okay, let me create the class name as thread demo or thread example. Thread example. And I want to have main here. In all the programs, I have main. Okay. So here, can I write one more class? Yes or no? If you remember core Java. Okay. So here, what I want to do here is I have a class and I have main method inside it. And this simply gets executed. So what I want to write here is inside main method. And for example, I can also print. For example, if I want to give a for loop, I can give, or I want to print the name also. I want to print the current name. Okay, tell me what is the output of this line? What is the output of this line? Main. That's it. We know already. Because we are in the main thread. Main thread is executing here and the output is main. Let me write one more class. This cannot be public. We can have only one public class. Class and for example, say play video method. Play video class. Because multi-threading is all about doing the multiple things at the same time, right? So this is just a class. This is how we write a class normally. And can I have a method inside it? Can I have a method?
Yes.
Okay.
Sarika,
Yeah.
is main also a thread
Of course, it is the main thread.
and is part of the
You
object?
don't take care of the main. It will be taken care by the JVM. Okay. See, if you have a thread, you are running it. Main is a thread, but it is a single thread working on your program. Correct. If you use main, that doesn't make your program multi-threaded. Okay. Okay. It's okay. You will understand slowly. I'm just creating a class and I want to have a method here. Just tell me one method name. My method name is public void and play video. Method name is some verb, some meaningful name. Okay, so this is the class, this is the method name. Don't get confused. Otherwise, let me just give play. Okay. So what I want to print here, I want to print something here. Playing video, because this method, usually we will write the business logic code here, but I'm just writing something. So you just assume that inside this class, we have a method. So whenever I call this class and this method, that plays video for me. Okay. You just understand this for now. Now, what if I want to call this method? What I have to do here? We haven't created thread, so don't get confused. We are just writing a normal program. Okay. I have to create the method or not? I have to create the
Hey,
method.
what's up,
So
everybody?
let me
It's
create the
Steph
method.
Mishchuk with Killer Sites and Other
Play video
Sites. So,
class
I got a question put to me by somebody, and I thought it
TV
was a
equal to
pretty
new.
cool question. And I did want to do some
I created the class and
documentation work what I had to
I'm
do.
calling the method. Where is
You
my
can
method?
pretty lame
Okay, I'm just
stuff.
calling
So
the
instead,
method.
I'm going to
Now,
do some
how many threads I have?
logging today. Well, right now. So the question was, Stefan, could you make a video about the
No, I have
future
only one, right?
of the IT industry? Many people say that programmers are
Yeah,
going to
but
disappear pretty soon
I
as
want to
artificial
create it because I want to show you something. Okay, so let me just run it and see inside main, and the thread name is main and it is playing video. So I also want to print something here. What is the current thread? I want to print the same thing from, this is entirely another class and another method. I want to print who is executing this thread. I want to get the name of the thread. Okay, gives you name of current thread. Okay, now any guesses on the output? We have 4 sysouts. Any guesses? Okay, let me run it and see. So can you see this? Any confusion here? This got printed as it is, and here we got main as the output, and this got printed as it is, and here we got main. So the same thread is executing both. Yes or no? We have only single thread and it is executing both. Is it concurrent? Is it executing both concurrently or separately? It's not executing concurrently because your control is going from here to here. It is the same thread going from one place to another. It is not like this is executing and this is also executing at the same time. Are you clear till here? If you are clear, then I will move to threads. Okay. So we haven't created any thread here. We are not into the thread. This is just a simple program. We just have only one thread, main thread. Okay. Now I want to do one thing. What I want to do here is I want to execute this main method. At the same time, for this method, I don't want main to go there. I want to create another thread and I want to call this method with that thread. So what is the reason for doing it? Why I want to create one more thread? Because I can execute them concurrently. It is a multi-threading because I want to execute this line of code and this line of code at the same time. Now this is a normal class, right? It is not a thread. Okay. Okay, for example, I am the instructor and I am Sarika. Okay, and I have 2 students. Let me select Bhashwar and Ellen. I have Bhashwar and Ellen. Okay, I am teaching. And Bhashwar is singing. For example, I am teaching, Bhashwar is singing and Ellen is doing something else. Ellen is dancing. Okay, so when I am single threaded, I am teaching. I will ask Bhashwar to sing. We will wait for him to sing. Then we will ask Alan to dance. Then he will dance. So it is all a process and it's going one by one. We are not doing everything simultaneously. So this is how the single threaded program works. Now Bhashwar and Alan both are not classes. Sorry, Bhashwar and Alan both are classes. They are not threads. If I want to make them as threads, I want to put some magic on them so that they are not classes anymore. They will become threads. Their behavior gets changed. So in that situation, I will teach my class and they'll also do their tasks at the same time. See, either it is a class or it is a thread. Somebody has to start them, right? Somebody has to ask them to do something. So you tell me this is just a normal class. This is just a normal class. I'm asking this class to play something for me. If main asks this, it will play. Instead of main, other thread also can ask this. Why we are why we are introducing another thread? Because we don't want to disturb this process. We want this process and this process to happen at the same time. Just like how we play the videos, how we enjoy our music while doing some work, it's like that. You are opening a Word document, you are preparing your resume, at the same time you are listening to the songs. Okay, So for example, you just assume that this line of code is playing your songs from the back end, and this line of code is where it is allowing you to write your resume. Okay. So this is just a normal class. This cannot run concurrently. So if it has to run concurrently, along with this code, you have to put magic on this. This is just normal class. It is not special in any way, right? So shall we apply the logic and make this as the thread instead of the class? I don't know whether you are actually understanding or not. Are you following them? Are you following? Okay, let's do some magic so that this class becomes a thread. So this is just a class for now. So how can I make this as a thread? There are two ways I told you. What is the first way? Yeah, we have two ways. You know, the best way is implementing runnable interface, but we have to learn the first way also. The preferred way is second way, but let's learn both. Okay. So the magic is extends thread. So now this is not the class anymore. This has become a thread. Got it? You have to do one more. You have to do one more magic. That is your thread. If your class is extending the thread and whatever logic is there, it has to be inside the run method. So I have made two changes. So are you following? So any doubts still here? Okay. So do I need to create the object? Is this necessary? Of course it is necessary. I have to create the object, but I have to assign another thread to handle this. Okay. So what I will do here is pv dot, let's see. Can you see this one? Where the start is coming from? Start is a method. It is present in the thread class. It was not present before. It was not there before. So my question, when I have a run method, why it is not showing run method here and why it is showing start method? This has become a thread. It's not class anymore. And your thread has a run method. Run method is something which gets executed when you start your thread. Okay. Okay. Let me briefly tell you about the lifecycle method. Okay. Let me briefly tell you about the thread lifecycle. Thread lifecycle. What do you mean by the lifecycle? Lifecycle is from where it is born to, from its born to till its death, right? So we have certain method that is all about the life cycle, and we have life cycle methods for threads, and that is nothing but the phases. So we have new, this is the first page, and second one is runnable. And what is the third? Did you remember the methods? Final one is terminate, I remember. And fourth one, I guess, waiting. Okay, let me quickly show you the thread life cycle. Thread life cycle. Yeah, new, runnable, running, blocked, and terminated. Blocked is where I think is it waiting or sleeping, right? Okay, so these are all the different stages of threads. You don't worry about it. We'll discuss about it one by one. These are all the stages. When a thread is born, it will be into some stage, and throughout its life cycle, it enters the different stages. And when it is actually terminated, it is in the last stage and it is terminated, and the thread will be no longer available. These are all the different phases of a thread. So what do you mean by new? I will explain briefly, one words for each. So when a thread is said to be in new state, when it is actually created, when it is born. So when a thread is born, when you created it. right? When you create a thread, it is actually born. When it is in runnable, when you create a thread, it is just born and it's not doing anything. Okay. So when you call the start method, it is in runnable state. That means it's actually ready to do something. It enters running state when you call the run method. Okay. And it is blocked when you suspend it for some temporary period of time. And it is terminated when it gets killed. Okay, you can see here. So here my thread is created or not. This is my thread. Here I am creating it. Okay. Now tell me. I am saying these dots. So this is which phase? Here I am creating the thread. So it is born or not? Which phase is this? New stage. First phase of the life cycle. And I am doing start here. That means I am making my thread to run. So this is which state? Runnable. That means it's ready to run. When this code is executing, when this particular method, start method, invokes run method and execute this, it is said to be in running phase. Are you following? And this blocked and terminate, we will discuss about it later. Okay. So is it clear so far? Okay. So you don't worry about the start method. When you create a method, see, if your class is a normal class, you just create a method, you just create an object, and with the created object, you call that particular method. This is all done. But this particular class is no longer a class now. It has become a thread because we have done some magic to it. We are extending the thread, so it became a thread. And when you are extending the thread, you have to override the run method. We are overriding it. This is absolutely fine. But who takes care of starting this thread and who takes care of running this method? It is our thread. Okay, your thread is created, but you have to start this thread or not. See, earlier your main is executing this block of code. Now it became a thread. Thread will execute it. You just have to start it. So when you use the start method, this start method invokes the run method. This code gets executed. Now they'll run concurrently. So shall I check that one? Okay, let me run it. Let's see the output. See, it is showing the thread 0 because we didn't give any name. This is the third state, so we don't have any name. It is just showing the thread 0. Let me run it again. Okay. For example, let me just print. Shall I set a name for it? This is my first thread, so let me just set a name for it. Let me just give some name for it. Set name. And this is my playing thread. My thread name is playing thread. It plays all the time. Okay. And I want to print after that. I have set a name. Now my thread name has changed. Okay. So let me just run it. So you saw the thread name got changed. You saw that one? In the same way, can I create one more thread? Shall I create one more thread? How to create one more thread? Tell me, please. Simple. I'll just create another class and I will just extend thread again. Shall I do that? Okay. So now this is a dance. Okay. Dance thread. Extends thread. Okay. So this is a class or a normal class or it's a thread? Okay. Now I need to rename this as dance or I have to keep it run method. It has to be run because your thread method should override the run method and its logic should be in the run method. Okay. So this thread dances for me. So I'm just saying dancing thread. So how many threads I have now? 2 threads. Now how can I start this dance thread here? How can I start it? If you create a thread, it is just born. It's not doing anything. If you want it to do something, you have to start it. So it's the same thing. I just want to create the object like this, and I have to start it. Okay. Dance thread dt equal to new dance thread or next dt dot start. I have now total how many threads I have? 3 threads, correct, exactly. And all of them are executing concurrently. Let me run it. See, this is the main method. This is executed by the main thread, and this is executed by the playing thread, and this is executed by the dancing thread. Let me run again. Okay, and now instead of this simple sys out, I want to print a for loop. Shall I print a for loop? I want this thread to print 1 to 10 numbers for me. Let me just write a for loop. You all know how to write a for loop, right? Int I equal to 0. I just want this thread to print 1 to 10 numbers for me. And I want to give here the thread name. String thread name. Okay. I want to print the thread name plus I want to print I. I want to print both of them. Okay. And what's the error? Okay, I have extra here. Okay, I want to do the same thing here. I want to print here also. So that prints me the values. Also, it gives me the thread name. Okay, so this variable is local to this block. If you are confused, I will change the local variable name. Shall I do the same thing for main thread also? I want to print numbers there. So let me just print the numbers there. Okay, before I could run this program, anyone has any doubts, please stop me. Let me just make it a little small. Anyone has any doubts? I have 3 threads and all of them are going to run concurrently. Shall I run this one? Alan is waiting in the lobby from long time, but I'm not going to allow him to the class. Let me just run it. Okay, I got the output, it seems. See, do you understand anything with this output? Please observe and tell me carefully. Let me keep it side by side. Where is my output? Okay. So this is my output and this is my program. Are they executing concurrently or not? Is it like your main is executing first so that you got main 0 to 10 first, then playing 0 to 10, then dancing 0 to 10? Is it like that? Are they executing concurrently or not? Let me run one more time. Let me keep this screenshot. Let me run one more time. Let's see whether every time I'm getting the same output or not. This is the first output and it is cropped. Let me. Okay, it is getting cropped. Don't worry. Okay, we have dancing down. Let me run it again. Let me run it again. Okay, since I got the output, where is my console? Window showing console. Let me put it down. Okay, let me run it. So can you see this? Let's compare the outputs. Okay. So this I got when I'm running it in the second time. Let me run it third time. Let's run it again. See, this is my third time output. Program is same, but the outputs are different. Here D got cropped, so don't worry. Here D got cropped. Okay. Let me run it one more time. Run as run Java application, and this is my fourth time. I think this is enough, right? This is enough. We have run 4 times. Now you observe the outputs and tell me the points. What did you observe? Same program, we got different outputs. So if you consider the first output, main is executed first, then playing video came in between. There are 3 different threads. Okay. So yeah, that is one good observation. Here, if you have multiple threads inside a method, you can't guarantee the execution. You cannot guarantee which threads get executed first. Okay, so let me just write the important point here. If you have multiple threads, you cannot guarantee the execution. I mean, which thread gets executed first. Then who takes care of it? Who is executing these threads? OS, operating system, takes care of the execution. We also have the thread controller inside operating system. They take care of thread execution. So if you want a particular thread to execute first, you can actually set the priority. Setting priority makes high priority threads to execute first, then the least priority. So got some idea? If you have multiple threads, you cannot guarantee. See, this is a playing video thread, this is a dancing thread, and this is the main thread. They are executing at the same time. Okay, see, sometimes you are getting output, and this output is getting displayed by the JVM, I mean your operating system. So see, they are executing concurrently. It's not like one by one. So at one particular point of time, main thread is executing. After that, your operating system is executing the playing thread. After that, main again. After that, dancing. So all are executing at the same time. So you understood the difference between how to write the code inside the normal class and how to write the clause with a thread. That makes your output look differently because they are executing concurrently. If you make them as the normal classes instead of extending thread, do you get such output? Yes or no? No, you won't get because they are the normal threads. You want me to show that? You want me to show you that, or this is fine? Okay, how many of you clear with this point? What about others? Only 2 people. Okay, so you understood the concept behind it, right? How to make your application multi-threaded and how to create the threads, how to make them run simultaneously. And the advantage, we have plenty of advantages writing the multi-threaded applications. You cannot wait for another resource to finish it work. You can use everything. Multiple users can use everything. Okay. Okay. Let me show you the thread priorities. See, these are the stages. You just go through it once. When you create a thread, it is in the new state. And when you execute a thread, see, I told you about the priorities that I'll tell you one strange thing. Even if you give the priorities, you cannot 100% guarantee that the highest priority thread will be executed first. That is a strange truth. Okay, you can set the priorities, but it totally depends on your operating system. Sometimes it may not consider the priority also. Okay, okay, let me just show you the thread priorities. I think here I don't have. Okay, thread priorities. So we have to give the values there for priority. So see, we have certain methods: minimum priority, normal priority, and maximum priority. So as you know, as the name suggests, maximum priority the threads with the maximum priority, they get executed first. Minimum priority will be given the least priority. Normal priority will be given when the host scheduler is free and it gets executed whenever the scheduler is available. Okay, so the value ranges from 1 to 10. The thread priority values, which they range in between 1 to 10. Okay, so here you can see, and the maximum is 10. 10 means your thread has the highest priority, it has to be executed first, and 1 being the least priority. Let me write it here. Minimum priority, maximum priority. And what if you don't give the priority? If you don't give the priority, all your threads will have the normal priority. That is nothing but, what is the value of the non-priority? It's nothing but 5, right? 1 is the minimum priority and 10 is the maximum priority, and normal priority is 5. If you give it, that's fine. If you don't give it, the OS gives it as 5. Okay, so you just give the values. See here, this is how you can set the priority. So set the priority. Okay, see, you can actually this is a huge concept, and if you take out one topic, it is so huge if it has to be discussed in detail. Okay, see, you have the list of methods. If somebody is interested, they can go through it. Here you can see the priority. See, we have the get priority method available, and we can also set the priority. Let's set. So shall I give the max priority to this one? What's the syntax? I think I have to give the value here. Okay, I think I have to. Okay, I think I have to give here. Just a minute. I have it here. So shall I get the priority as, shall I set it as maximum priority? Shall I give maximum priority to playing video? Are you following? And let me give the priority for least priority for dancing. Okay. Let me give this current thread dot current thread dot set priority. I just want to give the minimum priority. Let's see. Shall I run now? One is maximum, one is minimum, and to main I didn't give anything. It is the main thread. Let me run it. What's going on? So which one has the highest priority? Playing video. Second one is dancing has the least priority. Let's see. So did you understand anything? So dancing is happening at the end because it is given the least priority. These two are happening at the top. You can see, the playing thread is executing because it is giving the highest priority. After that, main thread is executing. So are you following? Understood what's happening here? Yeah, main is the normal. If you don't give anything, the normal would be taken. Let me run it again and let's see the output. Any discrepancies in the output? Stay still, you can stay still. Here, they are getting, it is coming like this. Sometimes the main is executing, sometimes the dancing. That's why I told you, even if you give priorities, you can't 100% guarantee. Sometimes they consider the priorities and sometimes they won't. Okay. So this is how we create the threads and this is how we make it run concurrently. So shall I explain you by implementing runnable interface? Are you good till here or it is too much? Just go through it once before I could explain it. Go through this code once. Go through this code, take a minute, then we'll discuss about the runnable interface. So are you good? Okay, let me move this here. So threads run concurrently. So you can't guarantee the output, right? It changes every time. Okay, and so what we did for thread class, if I want to create a thread, we created 2 threads. Let me write some. What we did in the previous program, we created 2 threads. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, how we created the threads? How? By extending thread. So we just wrote public, sorry, not public. We just wrote first class xxx is extends thread. So if you write extends thread, this class becomes thread. And here you have public. What happened? Here you have, I can't write anything. Okay, here you have run method. And here we will write the thread related code. When you extend thread, your class becomes thread. And you must override run method. Because if you don't have a run method, there is no use of your thread, right? If you have a thread, you have to start the thread. If you want to start the thread, the start method internally invokes run method. Okay, we are writing start here, but we are not invoking run. But internally it is designed in such a way that if you call the start method, it internally calls the respective class run method. So I'm assuming that you people are clear on this part. So we just created one more thread, class extends. This creates another thread. It is the same story again. We are overriding the run method. And this execute, and at the end, we have the demo class, public demo. Okay, this doesn't need to implement or extend anything. Is it implementing or extending anything? This class? No need, because here from here we are just calling the threads. Okay, this is not a thread class. This is just a normal class with a main method. Main is the main thread. Every other program will have it, and this particular program is invoking the other threads. Okay, it is nothing. If you think in the simple words, if you think logically, this particular program is executing this. So instead of main calling these two things, main is creating 2 separate threads. They are taking care of the executing respective codes. It's very simple. Okay. Instead of main has to go here, then here. Instead of that, main is creating 2 threads. They are calling these at the same time. Okay. So public demo, we are creating xxx object. Then we are saying, for example, if I say object one, then we are saying obj1 dot start. Okay. The same thing for other class also. Then obj1 dot start. Starts the thread. I tried making. Okay, we will check that one. If anyone has any doubts, we will check that. Okay, starts the thread by internally invoking run method. It is the same thing for another class also. I'm not writing that here. So everybody is good till here, right? You just give a try. You will understand it. So shall I create another class for implementing runnable? Another class because we want to create a thread by implementing the runnable interface. What is now, Sanjeev? Okay. Okay, everybody comfortable, right? I'm going to explain I'm going to create another class. I'm just creating another class, runnable example. Here I have main method again. Okay. So this class I want to put down because I want to create in the same way I want to create 2 threads here. Shall I create 2 threads? So dancing and playing done. You just tell me some other actions. Let's try reading and practicing. Okay, I'm teaching here. For example, say this is my class I'm teaching. Here also some students are sleeping and some students are practicing. So let's write the classes for the same because this is happening at the same time, right? When I'm teaching, some people are practicing, some students are sleeping. We are doing everything concurrently. Yes or no? Okay. So let me write a class practicing. One class is done. Okay. Okay, fine. One class is done. Let me write another class. Class sleeping. Why I'm giving parenthesis. Okay, I have created 2 classes and I want to have a method here. Public practice. This is my method and this is where I write my logic. This is where I practice. Okay, same method here also. Okay, so everybody 100% clear till here. Okay, this is my main thread. I am teaching here. Okay, so I want to write for loop because I want to print multiple times. Int yes less than s less than 5. Let me print 5 times. 10 is little kind of too much. So every time I want to print, I am teaching. Teaching. And I want to say this is my thread. So I want to name main thread as Sarika thread. Parent thread dot set name. Sarika thread. Okay. So I am teaching. No, Sarika thread. Let me give the string parent thread. This is just a variable. Okay, sorry. I have to get the name. Am I fast? Am I being fast? Okay, don't hesitate. So current thread is doing this one and let's also print and let's print S. I gave S variable because my name starts with S. Okay, this is what my main thread. Sarika thread is teaching. So Sarika thread is printing the numbers also with the thread name. Okay. So these are another classes. What they are doing, they also want to print something. I'm just writing some logic. Okay. Let me give P here. P. Let me give the in each and every class. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just printing. I can give S here also because it is just a local variable. It is local to this block. So even if I give the same variable, it doesn't matter. They are treated differently. Okay. Let me name both of them. First, I want to execute without creating the thread. How many threads I have in this program? Tell me. I want answers. How many threads I have here? What about others? PK. How many threads I have? Bashwar and Ashma, Bash, you guys reply me privately now onwards. Okay. Sanjeev, how many threads I have and why? Are you there, Sanjeev? Okay, why
Yes,
only
Sarika,
that?
yeah. I think there are one.
Why? Because I have three, but I have three classes, right?
Yes.
Then how come only one? Because they are not threads. They are just classes, right?
Yes.
They will become threads when you do some magic on them. There is no
Yeah.
magic
Like
here.
implement or extend.
Correct. Shall I do the magic on them?
Yes, please.
Okay. Implement. Runnable. Done. Shall I do the same magic on the second class also? Okay. And
Okay.
one more thing I have to do here. Do I need to override anything?
Yeah,
The
make
logic should be
run.
inside the run method because this is a thread. Your thread has to do something. If it has to do something, that something should be inside run method. So it is done. So now how many threads I have? 3. So these threads I want to set the names. So I want to name them as who is practicing. Somebody practices along with me, right? I think Barsha practices. Ashma, I know. She every time she practices and Barsha also practices. And who sleeps? You have to be honest. Okay, Sunil. Okay, Sunil, just for fun. Yeah. So sleeping thread is Sunil thread and practicing thread is Bharsha thread. I have 3 threads. There is no guarantee that which one execute first. Okay. Yeah, we should appreciate Ashma for that. She records every time she can't share her screen or she can't practice. We appreciate for you that. Okay. So I have 3 threads and when I execute this one, how many threads get executed? These won't get executed because I am not calling them anywhere. Am I calling them anywhere? They get executed. You just tell me. Threads are created, but they get executed when you start them. They are in the burn stage now. Somebody has to start them, then only they'll become runnable and they'll become running when they invoke this run method. Is it clear? So my threads are burn, but they haven't started. Somebody has to start them. So I need to start them or not? How can I start them?
Creating the object.
Yeah. And one more thing, important thing. Here, you just need to create the object and invoke the start method. That's it. But runnable interface, you have to do one more magic. Okay. Before that, let me create the method. I will show you. It is little tricky. It is little kind of confusing, but it is easy. That's okay. Okay. So practicing, I want to give the p equal to new practicing. I created the method. Okay. The method is created. Now, what I have to do here is, let me create the method for another class also, another thread also. So for runnable interface, this is not enough because runnable is an interface. You can't simply say p dot start. Can you see start is available? Okay. So you have to do one more extra step. That is, you have to create a thread object like this thread t or t1, any, it is just a variable, new thread, then pass this p here. You have to pass that particular thread object to this thread. This is one more extra step. This you have to remember. Because if you are, this start method is available in thread class. If you are extending the thread, start method is available inside the thread. You just create the method. Sorry, you just create the object and call the start method. It is done. But in runnable interface, if you are implementing runnable, You create the object, then create object for the thread class, pass this object there, then you start it. See, now the start will be available. This is just the extra step. Can you see this one? Start is available inside the thread. You have to pass the thread reference, object reference to the thread class. So this is the syntax. This is you have to follow. You may get doubt. Why to implement the runnable interface and why to add the extra step? Why don't you extend the thread directly and write the code directly? It is much easier, right? It is much easier, but we still prefer implementing runnable interface just because to achieve the multiple inheritance. If you implement the runnable, you can extend any other class also. Okay, here the same thing again. Here new. Okay, sorry, by mistake I made this class name with small letter. Don't do that. Follow the naming conventions. Okay. So same thing here. You just tell me now what I have to write here. So here I am starting the thread. Okay. We know start invokes run method. Okay, here what I have to do, what's the next step? How about we extend the thread? Somebody is asking me some doubt. How about we extend thread in another thread and not instantiate the thread class? You have to. If you want to start the thread, you have to instantiate. Then only you can call the start method. Okay. I don't know whether I got your doubt correctly or not. If you're not clear, you can ask me later.
No,
Yeah.
what I mean is like in the other threads above, since you're implementing runnable, can we also extend thread there, and so that
Yes,
like
you
in the
can do
main
that.
method,
You
we
can
don't have to
absolutely do that. Try
instantiate
that.
the thread class.
Yeah. You just have to instantiate in that way. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here again, I want to start this thread. So I have to pass the thread reference. So I'm just creating T2. T2 is just a variable, new thread. So to this, I want to pass S here. Is it clear? Now I have to say T2 dot start. Okay. Shall I run it? Now how many threads I have? I have 3 threads and I have the respective for loop in each and every thread. Let me run it and observe the output. 3. Sarika got executed first, Parsha got executed next, Sunil got executed later. Okay. Let me take this screenshot. Okay. So let me just put it there. This is just one output. Let's see again. Let me run it again. It is the same again. Let's see again. We don't have any priorities. So is it giving the same output every time? Usually it won't give. Okay. Let me give the priorities now. Usually it won't give. I don't know why it is giving. Output is so unpredictable, right? Like you get very randomly. Okay, we are passing everything correctly and we are just starting the threads. Okay, let me run again. Okay, I will set the priority and then I will see. Even without priority, I think, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think because of my operating system. You just give a try and don't worry if your output is different. It has to be different. Okay. Let me set the priorities. Let me give the sleeping is highest priority, I feel. What do you feel? It's very important, right? Okay, let's see. So inside run, I'm setting the priority as max priority. Okay, I think this has to be outside run. What is giving me this? Can I set here? One second. Thread dot current thread. Okay, let me just check. It's coming here. One I gave Sarika 0, sleeping 10, and practicing 5. Let's see. Okay, illegal. I think I cannot use or what? Okay. I have to give from 1 to 10. Yeah. Thank you. Why it is giving the same? It is giving the same output. This is really bad. This program is really bad. Okay, no problem. You give a try and you just tell me the outputs tomorrow. It's giving the same output, right? Every time. Sarika, Barsha and Sunil. Okay, I must be missing some logic. I'll check that. So anyone has, you got some idea, right? How to create a thread? How many ways? And how to start it? How to run it? If you understand this is the complicated thing. Other theoretical stuff you will understand very easily. This is the kind of complicated. So anyone has any doubts? This is the interesting topic. I don't know if you guys missed. I don't know how they'll be able to follow. Okay, you can ask me if you
Sarika, I
have
have
any. Yeah.
one question. In the main method, while
Yes.
you were creating an object for the thread class, did you have to import the thread?
No, I guess I haven't imported, right?
Yeah, so I was just confused,
It's
like how
present
you
in the
were able to.
java.lang, so it will. You don't need to. It will be available.
Okay.
Okay. If it needs to be imported, it will give you suggestion with the error. Okay. Anyone has any doubts? You can share your screen and show me.
Thank you.
I'll help you. So you can stop the recording. Okay. I don't know. Only 16 people. Day by day, the count is reducing. Some people are texting me that they are working. They are just following the recordings. That's why they are not attending the classes. I don't know. Please make yourself available at least for Nagendra class. Okay, let me take the attendance. Most of you are learning all these concepts for the first time, right? Except few people. Then all these are very important for everyone. Yeah, I think Sanjeev, Pashwar, they are already familiar with it. Okay, Ashma, you don't know Java before that? Great, then you are able to catch up. You are able to do this much, then it's really nice. Yeah, that's okay. You will forget me, all of you. You'll forget me after joining Nagendra class. Okay, so 7. That's okay. I'm just getting 7/20/20. Okay, let me share the screen. Let me go one by one and Alain, Anit, Atul, Ashma. Anit, are you there? Anit is absent. Atul, Ashma. Then Subhash, Ishan, Bhasha, Sunil. Subhash, are you there? I think he's there. Subhash. That's okay. You are praising her too much. That's fine. Bhasha, Sunil. I know she's my favorite, one of my favorite students in this batch. Paras, Ben, Arjan, Shah. Ben is absent. Arjan, are you there? I think he's there. Rejwan, you are not favorite because you missed many classes. Okay, if I make you favorite, others will feel bad. They're attending my classes every day. Regularly. Tiki, Jeevan, Neeraj, PK. Okay, Tiki, Jeevan is absent. I don't know. Neeraj is absent and PK is present. Sanjeev, Nishal, Sagar, Paudal, Binod. Sanjeev, Nishal, Sagar, Paudal is absent. Binod is present. Anup, Yonathan, Prashant, Rejit. Anup, Yonathan is absent today. Prashant, Rejit. Prashant is there. Rejit is absent. Then Elaine, Prashant, Paudal, Rijvi. Elaine, Prashant, Paudal absent. Rijvi is present. Bashwar, Mohan, Sarita. Okay, nice. Okay, good. The attendance is done. Let me see the screen. Subhash, I gave attendance for you. Yeah, Prashant, I gave. Prashant Paudal, I did not give, but for you, I gave. Sunil still sleeping. Maybe that's why he is not replying. Yeah, Anup, I gave the attendance. Yeah, like Sanjeev, why you want to know whether Bashwar is my favorite or not?